The top 10 mix detail checklist before your mix goes out the door. Next on Music Surgery with me, Dr. Bob. As with any song, track, computer, society, city, planet, etc., it's a combination of smaller parts that make up what we perceive as the sum of those parts. This goes for a mix as well, and these delicate inner balances will make or break your final mix. Let's take a deep dive into these key relationships that make up a great mix and how to, one by one, balance these before you make your final print. I consider this my final checklist before it's released into the wild, and I know if I get this right, my mix is going to sound great anywhere. So, at this point, what I'm concerned about, I've got my entire mix spread through these channels right here. These are all group channels. So the first thing I do, I take everything down to 0. And the first relationship I check is the snare and the lead vocal. I consider this the top of the pyramid. I think people recognize a song and listen to a song from the lead vocal and the snare outward. My opinion, but obviously the lead vocal is singing the melody and the lyrics, and the snare is hitting twice a measure most of the time. So these are very important elements to the backbone of your song. So in looking at these final relationships that I'm balancing before I make my final print, the first one is the snare and the lead vocal. So let me check that.
Everybody's trying to feel right. Stepping in my second little other child. Nobody wants to see you on your shoes. Poking up problem and killing you, yeah. Oh! Living every day, keep your head up high. Never been a sucker for the glam side. All we got is love, so we hold it tight. This is the dream for the easy ride, yeah.
All right, that sounds about right to me. I want the lead vocal out front. I want the snare to sound like it's basically hitting him right here in the chin. Very powerful, very pointy, lots of attack, good body to it, but the vocal out front. I think I've got that relationship right. So now on to my second relationship, the kick and the bass guitar. Okay, that sounds pretty good. I feel like the kick and the bass. The kick is taking a nice point. It still has some meat on the bottom, but the bass is a little bit lower. They're sitting nicely together. Now, I'm going to turn those off. I'm going to go back to the snare and the vocals, and I'm going to bring the rest of the drums in, and then the guitars. So we go back to the mid-range of the song. I turn the kick and the bass off, and I'm back to the mid-range with snare, lead vocal, and guitars and the rest of the drum set. So let's suss that out, and that would be number 3. All right, that sounded good to me. Good wrestling around different mid-ranges and these balances. Number 4 would be all of that, but let's bring the background vocals in. Okay, great. I think we're getting there. All of these inner balances, so minute, but really make the song pop. Next, I would keep it like this, but I would bring the keys in, but there are no keys in this song, so that would be step 5. Step 6 is let me bring in the percussion, which really drive the verse up here. I'm considering the clap part of percussion, so let's bring that in.
Everybody's trying to feel right. Stepping in my second little other time. Nobody wants to see you on your shoes. Poking up on me, killing you, yeah. Oh! Living every day to be heard about. Never been a sucker for the glitter shine. All we got is love, so we hold it tight. This isn't the dream for the E.
All right, sounding pretty good. Next, step 7 would be, let me bring these in, but I'm going to turn off all my effects because I just want to hear the balances without those to double check that everything is, that there's not anything funny going on that is masked by the effects. So let me go to the chorus here where everything comes in. And let me play everything. It's going to sound dry, but this is just a double check to make sure things are in time, to make sure things are speaking right without the effects. Actually, let me go back a step. These la-las are a background vocal part that I forgot. So they're on a separate fader. So let me go back. Where are they? Right here. Let me rough these in. All right, that sounded great. Let me bring the effects back in. This could affect these levels a touch because effects can make things louder or make things be perceived to be louder. So let me check this real quick.
Okay, losers delight.
All right, that sounded pretty rocking and pretty aggressive to me. Number 9, I check my master bus compressor to see how hard I'm hitting this. Now, normally I would like it to peak out about right here at the 3. But this is a very aggressive song, and it's kind of open. So let me see if I can cheat this a little bit.
Okay, losers delight.
All right, that looks pretty good. Now, last but not least, let me check. This would be step 10. Let me check my final limiter to see how much attenuation I've got going on here.
Okay, losers delight.
That feels pretty good. All these relationships now I'm comfortable with, and I feel like I've built it out like this,
and I'm ready to make my first print and send it off to the band and the label to be criticized. No, just kidding. To see what tweaks they have and move on from there.
Well, there you go. Pay attention to these balances and the order that I did them in. It's a safety net checklist to getting a great mix and the best mix for how songs are perceived by most listeners. Hey, you guys, we've got cheap and free crap for you. Sumner, put the right script up there. Come on, man. I'm trying to get... Hey guys, please take time to subscribe and ring the bell below to notify you of new surgeries. Also, take a look around in my store for some great cheap and free stuff. And one last thing, the Doctor's Lounge is open and in full swing. Come on, join us, get some amazing samples, stems, or one-on-one mix, production, or music advice. This is a really cool and super affordable thing, so check it out and see if it's for you. All the links are below in the description of this video. Thanks a lot. Well, that's it for this week. Thanks as always for stopping by. Please leave me a like or a comment below about this video, or a comment of what you'd like to see in future videos. Or drop me a hello at drbobmusicsurgery@gmail.com. Remember to take care of yourselves and each other, and I'll see you the next time the doctor's in.